Yeah. All right. And where is this?
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B, Around the Indoor Football World, Shield TV, and The Big Football Show. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla Hour, Brosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, Bodkin Show, and Spirit of Detroit Podcast. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Wrestling Roundup, Skull Gang 365, First and 10 with Foz, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballin' Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, 313 Den Podcast, Puckett, The Guys Huddle, Main Event Football Show, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, and Off the Rails. Hope you enjoy all the shows and feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe.
Good morning. It is definitely a morning. Not moving so well this morning, but it's here. What's up, everybody? This is not a open mic. This is K&R's Red Zone Rant.
Yep. This is the second. Yeah, it's the second iteration of the rant, and by next week we will have a brand new background, and the production values will be up a bit.
Yeah, we're just moving slow. That's all.
Yep.
It's early. We got to find stuff to talk about. Red Zone Rant is going to be a great show, especially before every Sunday. Catch us here at 10 a.m. We're going to talk fantasy football. We're going to talk. Look at this. What's up, Matt? Good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
There's a loyal guy. Uh-oh. Look at here. Look who else is here. Same old Lions, John Dorn. What's up? Good morning, fellas. We're ranting.
I've got a rant.
Ken's got a rant. You want to start out ranting, or you want to talk first of all, is there any football stuff we need to talk about? Anybody sign?
I was gonna say, not that I realized.
I didn't check this morning. Yeah, but I didn't check this morning. Usually I get up and check first thing, but it's getting used to this getting up early on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Getting used to it. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any new news.
Need to see these old pictures of both of you. Yeah. Let's see yours first.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to see us looking like naked mole rats. Now, where's yours, man?
Yeah, where's yours, man? I can find me a picture. I think one of the earliest pictures of me is in a Packer onesie pushing a football around, on the floor. So it sounds like I've been a Packer fan.
Jeez.
I didn't do it. I just really didn't. I was just there for the photo op. All right. Well, I don't think anybody's signed anything. I haven't seen anything. We're waiting on Jordan Love to sign his contract.
And that leads perfectly into my rant.
Let's do it.
You've got not all these. You've got a subsection of Packers fans that are going absolutely ballistic at the recent report that came out that Jordan Love's contract is most likely going to be above $50 million. I want to know, what in the hell did you see this past offseason with all these quarterbacks getting paid all this kind of money, especially Trevor Lawrence's freaking middle of the pack ass getting all that money? Did you think Jordan Love was going to sign for pennies on the dollar? I mean, with the type of season he had last year, the man deserves to be compensated. And not only that, he paid his dues. He sat there on the bench for 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers, just holding the freaking iPad or Surface tablet, whatever the hell it's called. To me, he has earned every bit of this so far, and I don't get why everybody's not everybody, but why there's such a subsection that's going crazy. Like we don't have Russ Ball, one of the best cap managers in the freaking league, to design these contracts around. What's up there, A Dub?
Man,
What's up, fellas?
pretty good rant there, buddy.
I was gonna say, I told you this shit was right up my alley.
Yeah, I told you, man, that was a good one. I mean, it's a good It's a good topic right now. I mean, we've talked about it so much. I don't know if we've talked it out, but I mean, Jordan Love's going to get paid, right? Everybody agree? No matter what, are we not going to pay this guy? I don't want to give him $60 million, but you know, what's he going to get?
Hey, but hey, I tell you what, if he does get it, eventually next season we're going to see if it's an overpay or not.
Yeah.
Especially when the money is meant to be for what we're supposed to get as far as future reference.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, does anybody on this panel? I mean, we're all Packer fans. Do you guys think he's not worth the money? I mean, do you think? I mean, I know that we're all stuck in this situation. He has to be based on 1 year's work. You know, first half compared to second half is like night and day. You know, not elite. He played like an elite quarterback the second half. I mean, I don't know how else you got to. What do you got to go off of? You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to give him $60 million.
It's future production.
But hey, like he could end up being just like Patrick Mahomes. Like Mahomes got a big time pay after he won a Super Bowl, and he still went on to win a couple of more, which meant that he definitely deserved a big pay. Kansas City continues to give him.
Yeah, and Love gets a lot of comparisons to him. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but my thing is, Love will have to produce like Mahomes and at least win a couple of rings to even be deserving of it. My thing is like if you manage to win me a Super Bowl or a couple in the future, you'll definitely be worth whatever you get. Like if it's $60 million, you'll have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. From the way that he played, and as long as he keeps progressing like this, I don't think that there's any doubt that at some point in his career he's going to get a Super Bowl. It's just when. Hopefully, with this team that we've got built, it's going to be in the very near future.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, there are a select few who believe it could be this year. I mean, the team is set. Like on paper, this team is set to where they could duplicate what they did last season and be better.
Yeah, especially if the defense is better. I think we were as a top 10 defense away from winning last year. We had a top 10 defense. We don't lose the Washington, or we don't lose the New York game. We don't lose to the Commanders, or to the Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, there's a couple games that our defense cost us that we would have been on the other side of. You know.
Well, if I had to call out a few games that were close that we should have won, yeah, you got the Giants, you got the Raiders, and the Broncos.
Those Raider game, that's another one that we choked away, I thought.
Well, that was still while the offensive line was finding its footing, and freaking Max Crosby was in the backfield so much he could have been taking snaps from under center.
I know, but we had a real good shot at that game too. You know, there's a couple games we were in, and just because our developing quarterback kept us from it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would be okay. I mean, are you guys okay with paying Jordan? I mean, $60 million. Is that a? I mean, I'm not saying that's going to be his number. I'm just saying that could be a number.
I'm saying my thing is if he manages to win a Super Bowl, then I'll be comfortable paying him that money.
So you're all in. What if we just go to the Super Bowl? What if we just make it? We blast this year. Maybe we don't win the division. Maybe we fight for it in the I don't even care if we win the division. I just want to be in the playoffs.
If he manages to make it to the Super Bowl, I'll be okay with paying him whatever he wants. Like I might have my faith in him to where he could get us back there again and win win one or maybe two. He wins us a couple. It's like if I am assured of the idea that you can get us back there to the promised land, I pay you whatever you want that you stay with me as my QB.
Yeah, you're right about that, bro. If we seen another year like last year, but probably won't start out as slow. But because honestly, man, I thought if they could have kept that going, they were rolling, they were picking up steam. Like I don't even think we've seen the ceiling on the offense yet.
Oh, no.
Honestly,
Neither do
I really don't think we've seen it
yet. That's what makes Green Bay dangerous. You don't know what the ceiling of the offense truly is just yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. I think it's going to get better.
I mean, last season was all about these guys finding their footing in the league. Now we're going to see just how far their talent can really go. Like, you can be sure not everybody on the team is peaked yet.
Well, the problem is, Eric, they're going to want to pay him before we find this out. They want him paid by camp. I mean, and I would like to see this done by camp, too, so we can focus totally on a Super Bowl.
From the reports I've been hearing, we might be seeing something about it in the next few days.
Yeah. And the sooner the better.
Yep, I want to just hurry up and get it done and out of the way. And
it seems like every quarterback that's signed is murking the waters more and more.
Like I said before, the only worry I've been having with the idea of us paying them is you don't want to be in the. I don't want us to be in the same situation as the Giants were with Daniel Jones. Like you get one good year out of somebody, and eventually they will regress after you pay them the big contract that they desire.
But you guys think
never want that situation?
You think it's the same kind of situation?
Yeah,
I don't see that.
I can. No, I can definitely understand that fear. Bill, you are mute.
Bill,
we
you're
cannot
muted.
hear you.
Bill, you're muted. There we go.
I don't know if it's your microphone's not working, but I don't see that as something that we got to worry about as much because Daniel Jones, before he had that good year, put out a couple of shitty ones. So his good year was a blip in the radar, where Love, with it being the 1 year, that's all we got to go on. So you gotta hope at least that that's not going to be an issue.
It was a hopeful year though.
Yep.
You know, he had his ups in the beginning, then he went down for a little bit, and then he showed everybody what he's made of. You know what I'm saying? And I've been watching a lot of interviews with him. He's been doing a lot of podcasts and shit. And they always ask him like, oh, what changed in the middle of the season? And that's what he said. He just when he started throwing picks and stuff, he got nervous. Like, I don't want to throw it there. So he started holding himself back. Once he realized you just got to do it. So he just started making the throws where, you know, he thought he had it, and boom, now he's got it, man. You know, I think he got a little scared when he started throwing those picks and stuff, you know. So
and you know what? To me, when I saw those interceptions, it reminded me about what I've seen out of him in college. Like that year where he had those 20 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. It's like you're trying to play hero ball out there, which you don't need to be doing so much of.
Right. Yeah, I was surprised to see you guys live, man. I was surprised. I'm like, is this live?
Yeah, bro.
Mike's like, no, that's a replay. But I'm on my page. I'm like, wait, no, they're live, bro.
It's Red Zone Rant, baby. It's Red Zone Rant.
It's a brand new Sunday morning show.
I don't look. I don't want to give up this time slot. I love this time slot. Weekly time slot, 10 o'clock. This is going to be before the games. Every Sunday, you guys are going to be coming in here to we're going to do weekly picks. We're going to do all of it. Fantasy.
The link is set, John. I sent you the link, buddy.
He didn't get the link.
Yeah, he said it in the comments.
I posted it in a bunch of the back chats.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting season, man. I can't wait to see what our defense does, man.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, I cannot wait to see how good McKinney's going to be for this defense. For how good he was with the Giants in their middle of the pack defense at best.
Yeah, to the stage. Good morning, John Dorn.
What's happening?
What's going on?
Welcome back to the rant.
No hunting today, buddy?
No.
You don't got to play coy, Dorn. We know that you're hunting lions today.
Oh, I got them all crying, man. They're all crying. Their best chance at a Super Bowl, we just choked it away last year. Now they got a 2-year window, so they're really fucking scrapping and fucking. They know
a lot of these guys screenshotting your post and reposting it. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I got them all crying.
Dorn's got them all triggered. They're getting ready to sign up for the John Dorn fan club so they can get their shirt and mug.
Well, you better get all their shots in now because by the season they'll be ghosted anyways. When the Packers take over the division, they'll all be ghosting.
Will they be ghosting or will they be breaking out the paper bags again?
Probably both. Probably both. There'll be a shortage of paper bags in fucking Detroit.
Man, there's gonna be some poor forest out there that's got no trees just to accommodate these Lions fans.
Yep.
So much crying.
I'm surprised nobody. Now that Dorn's on, I'm surprised nobody's not on here trying to troll them.
That's because they're doing it all in the groups.
I mean, what do you guys think about stealing their most accurate kicker? We stole it from them.
Yeah.
Talking about James Turner.
Yeah, their best accurate kicker. Actually, he was actually their best kicker fucking in the OTAs.
He was the Lions' best kicker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's got to suck to have your best kicker go to your division rival just to be a
piss you off. Oh shit. So you guys beat Darcy with the.
I was gonna say Darcy will run from Dorn. He does almost every time.
Every time I make him cry, he gets so good.
I'll send him the link, man. I'll send him the link.
Maybe he'll come on. Maybe he won't. Anybody got a rant? Anybody upset about anything? Anybody got anything? You got John? You always got something.
I'm gonna say I'm tired of seeing these fucking Lion fans talking shit all week, dude. Saying that they're the North. You won a division one time, buddy. Sit down. You're not the fucking king in the North. You won the North this year, but you're not the fucking king, bro. Come on. Sit down.
You won it one time.
They've been in the basement so fucking long, their ass imprint is still in the couch. You know, there's Bud Light cans all over from Tim, you know? It's ridiculous.
Well, the funny part about this is
I'm not surprised at that. Like, you would think after somebody finally had their moment to shine as the division champ, they wouldn't know how to act.
Yeah.
See, one thing about it is,
another moment where you would think they don't know how to act is they finally broke that playoff drought they've been under for so long.
Yeah, no, I know. Same thing with them Bears, though, man. We'll see how they do. I think they're going to be better than the Lions, though, to be truthful with you.
Oh yeah.
I think
Pasadena is halfway just as good as the Fields. Bears own the Lions. Yeah. I mean, they 7 out of 8 quarters.
As bad as the Bears have been, they always manage to whip the Lions' ass.
Yeah.
Like how we got the Bears numbers, they got the Lions numbers. What's up, Daniel Zekas?
He keeps taking himself out. You don't want to be in.
Well, you can't just come
I'm actually just trying to listen to you guys while I set up Hal's Hard Report. So I just came in the back because it's not on the Huddle Facebook page. So I said, okay, well, I'll listen this way while I set up Hal's Hall. That's why I did the camera on or my mic.
You can sit in the back, Ken.
He's just getting stuff together. He's waking up too.
Yeah, I'm thinking is his connection.
I gotta say, Ken has a real infatuation with Mike the Bear fan. Look, he's got his picture on
this here.
See, this is the thing right here. Yeah, they do. They think they're a dynasty when they're not really not. They got a 2-year window. They blew their best chance at a Super Bowl last year. They choked it away, and everything was actually handed to them on a silver fucking platter.
Let me ask you guys. That's a good question. This brings up a good question about the whole Love contract. What if he gets a contract like this? What if in the 3rd year of Love's contract, it's so one-sided that you got the fan base talking about cutting him out? I mean,
no,
I don't
see that with Love. You could pay him that $60 million a year, and I think by that point he's going to have every fan on his bandwagon that there's going to be nobody that's going to bitch about him.
Well, you got to figure too, the Lions, their offensive line is fucking old, getting old. So they got 2-year windows with that offensive line. They got a 2-year window with Goff.
These Lion fans like strive off of players. Every player they sign, we got him from Green Bay. We snuffed right.
Every time.
Every fucking player they sign, we got him right before Green Bay.
Yeah, like it simply started with them saying they stole Brian Branch from us in the draft. Now this next draft comes up, they talking about they took Terry and Arnold from us.
Yeah.
And honestly, the Branch was a trade with Reed, right? Didn't we get Reed out of the deal?
We got Reed, Wicks, and someone else. Yeah, we got
a great deal for us.
They're playing checkers, we're playing chess. That's
exactly what it is.
How could we steal Branch if we traded them so they could get them?
Yeah.
Right?
That sounds like we didn't want them, and but you guys are going to overpay. Here you go.
Here you go.
I sent Darcy the link, man. I don't know, man.
Well,
on the run. She's
then we go in this draft. We go get three safeties, 3 linebackers. I mean, we're just set, man, on that defense. We don't got McKinney.
Coffee? Is that not Dunkin' Donuts, buddy?
Bro, you're not around in the morning. This is my morning ritual right here, bro.
Hey, put that back up so Ken Dom can see that.
He knows. Ken's there in the morning. Ken's got in. See, we do this every day. It's a normal ritual right here, bro.
That's great.
You're muted there, Ken.
Yeah, Ken's muted.
That's a good thing. Now I got my coffee. Now the light is on. And for you, Bill, because you think we're so infatuated, I've changed the icon to the best football club in the world.
Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, my
soccer.
How are we going to say, you hear that, Dorn? He's trying to start the shocker show.
Yeah.
He's trying to start it.
Hey, notice I said football club.
John's going to be a guest speaker because he's the name dropper big time.
I'm telling you, man.
Well, I've got my Google running right now, so.
You missed it, Bill. I mean, John's been auditioning to start his own soccer show. He's name dropping players and coaches.
And you come on talking about field conditions and shit. I'm like, holy
fuck,
what'd you do with John Dorn?
In fact, that was a funny thing. He broke on Friday that Argentina was mad for Confederations Cup. Was it? Yeah,
and for the Falcons, yeah.
Yeah, because of the all grass field in Atlanta in their dome.
I like this guy, man. I really like this guy. He said, show Reed burning Branch for a TD on Thanksgiving, and then they shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, that's exactly what happened. Kevin, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, Kevin, why don't you come up on the show one of these days, man?
Yeah, bro, you're more welcome to come on the rant. You guys got a rant, come on, bring it.
I love Lions fans. They are the most.
I'll drop the link in the comments. If anybody wants to come on, you're more than welcome to come on and give us your rant.
That's right. Yeah. Do a rant. This is what it's for. Come in, rant. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Certain Lions fans are talking like they own everything these days still. I'm just like, come on, guys.
Now, Ken, you're a Bear fan. Wouldn't you agree? The King of the North is someone who's won the division multiple times, not someone who's won it once. Come on. You won the division.
It depends on your context, Bill, because normally the King of the North is whoever won the division last year. So they are King of the North until they are dethroned, which will be this year, of course.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about in the other context, like, well, whoever's got all the division champs, well, it ain't you, it ain't me, it ain't Detroit, it's freaking Minnesota. They've won more division champs than anyone.
If you have actually most Super Bowls and everything, then who has the winning record over all the teams in NFC North? We have we own the Bears, we own the Lions, we own the Vikings.
This whole King of the North thing is subjective depending on how you're using it. So I mean, it's very subjective.
So what you're saying is they are pretenders sitting on our throne right now.
Yes,
we're just keeping it warm.
I agree with that statement.
Because they actually won the North last year, so they legit are the Kings of the North until someone dethrones them this year.
They actually
but if you listen to Lions fans,
silver platter the last year.
But if you're listening to Lions fans, they think they're like Mahomes, go sit down because of us. you have no shot this year. Like, really?
Well, don't you know they have the best players at absolutely every position? They even got the best water boy out there on the
I
field.
know. And Kevin, they're talking though, the North, the Central, all of it for the Vikings. I get the North.
They're combining it.
Yeah. So I mean,
they're just saying division titles in general.
I mean, look at. There's only one team in the NFC North that has to hang a banner for winning a division. Okay, and I mean that should be enough said right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, you got to hang a banner for some reason in Detroit. It might as well be that.
They're arguing now on a certain page that this current team is the best team in Lions history. I'm like,
I mean, bro, it might be. I mean, if it's better than last year's team, I'm just saying, bro. Last year's team was pretty good. That may be their best team in their history.
Late 80s, early 90s.
I mean, as far as the last team that ever won a game in the playoffs, maybe.
I mean, who was on that team? Eric Kramer,
Barry.
Was Barry on that team? 93?
The 90, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to go produce the Bears show because Ken Dobb is a homer.
All right. Well, thanks for showing up, Bill. Well, you're welcome anytime, buddy.
Hey, to be a homer on a show for your team, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, who would ever think that one, Bill the Homer fan, I mean Packer fan. No, it's funny because, when we had Dez on last week, it was just funny because he goes, the Green Bay Bears things like that's a fan thing. Players really don't give a crap, basically. Right. But he's like, the team he did hate was the Lions, and the reason he gave was so funny because it's like, God, it's like what we're talking about right now. They win one day. They're like that meme with the guy who's like, he's got the champagne, giving him the bird. Yeah. And then you see the podium, and like they're in last place. That's the Lions. They win one time, and it's like, oh my God, yes, you all suck. We're the best ever. It's like, dude, you've won once.
That's the biggest rant of the day, man.
They're building a dynasty, and it's like your best chance at Super Bowl was just last year, and you choked it away.
I'm sorry. Has the North ever had a dynasty? Or the Central? Or our division, whatever it's been called through inception, ever since in the Super Bowl era, have we had a dynasty? I mean, the late 60s Packers winning 2 Super Bowls, but that's not a dynasty. Dynasty's 3, right? So, so I mean, but if you want to go modern era, or since most of us was born, which has been around 1970-ish, for the most part,
possibly you're a bunch of old bastards.
Yeah,
possibly the Chiefs. I mean, they got 3 already. I mean, Mahomes.
Well, the Chiefs are a dynasty. The Chiefs. I mean, in our division, has there ever been a dynasty? Even
it's coming up though. Packers are building one right now.
I mean, even what's we can even be generous and say since 1980.
To be honest, if you want to talk about it, the real answer to that question is no. No team in our division is really close. Has been put a dynasty together yet.
No, but you talk to Lions fans. Oh. Stupid Bears and Packers fans don't know A-Dub because they're a dynasty in Detroit.
Yeah.
Well, my recommendation is if Detroit wants to be a dynasty, you're going to have to be able to surpass Mahomes as far as winning back-to-back Super Bowls, perhaps.
Wow. I mean, up until last year, the Tampa Bay Bucks won the one more in the
The Lions dynasty is actually winning back-to-back fucking division. That'd be their dynasty.
Well, and actually, we're kind of lucky, right? Because when they made the North, we moved the Bucks out. But if the Bucks were still in, they'd be tied with you all for Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Right? They got 2.
Yeah.
So I mean, that just shows you even more. Like it's funny. Expansion teams have made it to the Super Bowl. The Lions have not. But they're a dynasty. Yeah. They're a dynasty.
I mean, I get why fans are hyped, and this is the best they've ever seen them. But man, you gotta pump the brakes, man. This is the one thing you have to learn as a fan. Your team's only. You can't help your team be any better because you cheer harder and because you act like a dumbass. It doesn't help your team win.
Have they not learned from what happened with the Vikings the year previous, right?
Yeah.
13 win season.
Frauds.
You know,
they were
I mean,
frauds.
they deserve to win the division because they won the games. I mean, look
Yeah.
at they won a lot of one-score games. They did what they got to do. Fine, they earned that, and then they got killed in the playoffs. I mean, you know, but still, the Lions won 13 games last year in a division that, let's face it, isn't as good as it is now. You know, it wasn't as good as it is now, at least on our favorite words on paper. But they won 13 games, and they did a lot of things like they won some close games. They did a lot of fourth down shenanigans that kind of worked out for them. It's not just because the fourth down shenanigans worked for Dan Gamble last year doesn't mean they're going to work going forward. Just because you won a field goal game last year doesn't mean you're going to win it this year.
Well, isn't that the argument with Love? Everybody's like, they got tape on him. So now everybody's got tape on Campbell in the way he fucking coaches.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it.
Oh, no.
Fans in general, look at each fan base needs to temper their expectations. Bears fans, calm down. We don't know anything about Caleb yet. Like, yeah, sure, be excited. We drafted a bunch of offense where we normally always draft defense. So be excited. They put some money into the offense. You know, but let's see what happens when these guys hit the field. Packer fans, gotta calm down. Like Jordan Love had one good season in his career last year. Can he string together 2, 3, 4? I don't know. We gotta let him do it on the field. We can't proclaim that he can yet until he actually does it. You know, Vikings fans, I don't know what to tell you, man. Just Vikings fans, you're a quandary because you got a really good team for the most part, and then you got the quarterback. And it's like, I don't understand the McCarthy draft pick based off a lot of people said. Maybe you guys know something we don't, but then like you're right now starting quarterback who, he was okay last year in backup garbage time duty in San Francisco, but Sam Darnold's never, been able to do it as a starter. So good luck with that. And then Lions fans like, dude, you got to calm down. You've won one division and what? When was the last time they won the division? Playoff game was 30 years.
93 was everything. They won the division. They won
they didn't win the division since 93.
Yeah.
Was 93 the last division too?
Yes.
I thought they got one like around 2000.
And of course, back then when they won the division, it was the NFC Central.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
They went all the way to They went all the way to the NFC Championship game and lost it there as well. I mean, that's as far as they've gotten. They've never gotten past where they got last year.
And that's what I'm saying. So
like same old lines.
93, and so 93 team versus last year's team. I'm sorry, I might take the 93 team with Barry, but that's just me. So I mean, every team's fan base needs to kind of take a step back and chill with these proclamations that they have. There are some funny ones out there. Don't get me wrong. I love some of the stuff that I'm seeing out there that's funny, but it's like, dude, it's like.
I wonder if
that's true. That's true, Kevin. That's true.
That's a good point. I wonder if it's out. I mean, look, everybody's going domes these days. I mean, this is a perfect example. I mean, nobody in the NFC North in a dome has won it.
Nope.
Well,
I don't know if that's
and I was asking that, and I even asked that question last season: how effective is playing indoors going to be for the Lions? Like, you have all these games indoors. Would that affect you down the road in terms of you having to play through the weather to make any run in the playoffs, perhaps?
Yeah, but how many teams do you play in the weather now? You know what I'm saying?
Chicago, Packers.
But I mean,
Jeremy B last night said it's you guys and San Francisco were their only two outside teams, and that was at the end of the season. They have 14 games in a dome. Because we were talking about the kicker and had the problem with their kicker. Like, he sucked outside of the dome, bro. Sucked.
If you think about it, though, I mean, how many teams the Bears' next stadium is going to be dome? That looks like that's what's going to be, right? More teams are building domes, going from open air to dome. They just are. So, pretty soon, Green Bay is going to be the only team in the North that's open air.
I was going to say, I pray Green Bay doesn't ever turn into.
I don't think they ever will. I don't think they ever will.
It depends. If they move to Milwaukee, they're going to be in a dome.
Yeah,
they're going to move.
Well, that whole drama, which we haven't.
Well, I would rather see Milwaukee just put a dome there. That way, if they need something for a dome, they could just go to Milwaukee and leave Green Bay alone. Green Bay.
I mean, Rob and I are old enough. Rob, A-Dub, and I, Dorn, maybe too. We're all old enough to remember when they played 2 games a year in Milwaukee.
Yeah, my first Packer game was in Milwaukee County. That's where my first game was.
So, But I mean, I understand, even though it's not been well publicized, that there's a little consternation in Green Bay Nation on the stadium situation, and that there's a push from the
They're
Milwaukee
locked
side
in
of
for
the
quite a
house.
few years already. I mean, right now they're locked in quite a few years already. They want to extend that. That's what it is.
So I mean, if the Milwaukee side gets its wish, and the Packers move from Green Bay to Milwaukee, I have two questions. One, is it a dome? I think the answer to that one's yes. Two, do they retain the name Green Bay Packers, or they become the Milwaukee Packers?
Yes, man, that's not going to change. The Cowboys never have been in Dallas.
Yeah, but
Never have been in Dallas.
But dude,
and they're
but
called the Dallas
Arlington,
Cowboys.
but Arlington's a suburb.
Well,
Green
see,
Bay
I
is
heard
not a
that.
suburb
I
of
heard that
Milwaukee.
Bears are going to
Irving,
Brazil.
Irving, when they were in Irving, that's
the
where they
first
originally
NFL
were. Is out of
team
Irving.
out of United States. To be the
Like,
Bears.
how far is the drive from Milwaukee to Green Bay? Is that like 3 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
2
2.5,
hours.
3
Definitely not a
hours.
suburb. Definitely not a suburb.
No,
So I
it's
mean,
not.
there's some other issues there. It would be weird to have the Green Bay Packers play Milwaukee full time, but I know that's what the push is, because they're like, well, that's where most of the fan base is coming from. That's where the money is, and we'll actually put a brand new state of the art stadium there. Blah blah blah. And look, at Ken's already going, oh my god! But the
I were going to say, are you trying to give me nightmares and make me throw up?
But you know what though? But the unfortunate, like the reason
You
why
can wish all that, Ken, all you want, because it's never going to happen.
No, I'm just saying, but these
all
are
you fucking want, man.
But John, these are the arguments not coming out of Chicago, not coming out of Detroit, not coming out of
It's
Minnesota,
not coming out of
Wisconsin.
Green Bay right now. You're
They're coming
fantasizing
out of
this shit.
Wisconsin. Like, look, I get the Bears are going to go do dome, and they're going to do it in Arlington Heights probably at the end of the day, and that's fine. I mean, that's like, look at
You guys have to settle on a place. You still have yet to settle on a place.
we could go open air if we want to, and they're going to build the stadium they want to build, but the dome financially makes sense because of all the extra shit you can do by having a dome stadium. The question is going to be a dome stadium with turf or a dome stadium with grass? And I think if you can effectively build a brand new state-of-the-art facility that's a dome with natural grass as a playing surface, I think that is one more barrier that comes down for the Packers to move out of Lambeau.
So what are you alluding to? You want all these dome teams are going to go put grass in, and then we can start bringing the soccer teams in and play there. And get
well, I mean, there's that. I mean, look at
International sports is making these
it's not
decisions.
going to affect. Look at John's half joking with it, but it's not going to affect the World Cup for 26, right? Because none of these stadiums are going to be done by then. They've already picked the cities, whatever. But he's not wrong though, because now you get a Copa, now you get some of these other big international tournaments, and these guys, look at, they fill stadiums.
We had that one in Green Bay a few years ago. That was actually turned out pretty damn good, actually.
And that was and you know what the funny thing about that was a preseason exhibition game for Bayern, and they packed Lambeau.
Yeah.
With bad weather, they packed Lambeau with during a huge rainstorm. So I mean, that's just more revenue for these franchises. So teams like the Raiders, when the Bears ever build theirs, if they build in Arlington versus the city, when they own their own facilities, they start making a ton, right? And like Eric's not wrong. Outdoor football's more fun. It's I don't know about convenient, but it's more.
Oh yeah. To me, that's what a football team should be. You should be outdoors playing the game, not sitting here in a nice cushy dome that's thermostat controlled, and you don't got to worry about the rain or the snow.
Well, if you do a SoFi,
hey, if you're gonna do the dome, I recommend you better have an accessible roof that can open.
Yeah,
but not necessarily. You could do what the Rams did, right? And actually, they're not the first. The first ones was Lucas Oil, right, where the whole one side of the stadium is open, right? And SoFi, it's open air on the one end. Isn't AT&T open air too?
AT&T's got a sliding. They got a sliding there.
So I mean, you could still have it be open air, freeze your ass off in December in Chicago with a dome like that, but just not have to worry about the snow, the sleet, or the rain, but have the
I was going to say, to me, that takes a major element out of the game, because Playing through the weather conditions to me is kind of what makes football football.
That's what old-fashioned football. That's fucking playing the rain, mud, fucking you name it.
Bro,
It doesn't matter what weather.
It's meant to be played, man, in the weather. I get it, man. If they get lightning, they stop a game these days. I get it. You don't want to see people get fried on the field in case lightning strikes. All right, I get it. It's not good look for TV.
Safety of your players does matter, but then during my younger days, I played through the weather myself. I'm definitely all about the old school way of playing.
Hell yeah! All right, A-Dub. That's what I'm talking
about. Though, like the first domes were built in like the late '60s, early '70s. So domes were brand new. Even in the '80s, they were still kind of a new thing. Like the Superdome in NOLA was still like an oh my god kind of thing. You had the dome in Houston, where it was like, oh my god. Domes were a new thing, and now 40 some years later, they're not a new thing, but teams are realizing, well, domes are a great thing because I don't have to worry about lightning strike delays for outdoor sports. I can then in my off season, especially in the winter months, I can host WrestleManias, concerts, John Dorn's favorite monster truck rallies. I can host Comic-Cons. And Comic-Cons. Look at Comic-Cons, let's face it, those are huge money too, like New York, absolutely. Chicago, Orlando, places like that.
I get it. Domes have a place. They do have a place for teams, but just not for this sport.
Bowl games. I can do bowl games in northern states now that I didn't. I remember back in the day, all the bowl games were in southern states. Now you get bowl games in the northern states. Why? Because they have stadiums that can host them. So, there's a litany of reasons why ownerships are going, well, domes make, and let's face it, like the Death Star looks phenomenal. If you haven't seen the Death Star yet, go to Vegas and go see the Death Star. It's a wicked cool looking. I got some Boston there, right? But it's a wicked cool looking stadium. That thing, it looks awesome from the road, inside it. All the way around. So the Packers, will they ever go to a dome?
No.
It could happen.
I think if they did, it would be similar to Dallas, where they have a retractable roof. That's if they ever did it.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that they would do that.
No, they want to keep it original, man. Everything from Packers original, man. Original fucking stadium, everything.
Teams are going away from the retractable roof for two reasons. One, they're really, really expensive to build compared to a regular dome. Two, they break a lot. And they're really, really expensive to repair. That's why you have like SoFi did the open end, and Lucas Oil has an open end.
Or what about that stadium in Minnesota that had that roof explode with that snow foam?
But that was an old school dome though, right? That used air to press up, because their new one's not like that. These new domes, they're solid. They don't use the air to blow them up. Because remember, that's when they were building domes for the first time, when they were these brand new things back in the 60s and 70s when those were built. So that technology is obviously ancient. It's about as ancient as your 8-track player. You know what I mean? So these new domes, though, look at US Bank. It's not a blow up anything. It's a solid roof structure. Look at SoFi. It's a solid roof structure now. They're not held up by hot air, and it's not soft material that's going to collapse like that. It's like a roof. Because we can build better now, build better buildings. So I think if Milwaukee gets its way, Green Bay goes to a dome. If Milwaukee doesn't get its way, then Green Bay stays open air as long as that stadium can hold out, and the Packers can hold out, because the Packers have shown they don't care about generating extra ticket revenue in that way. Because that's the other impetus, right? Is we build a stadium so we have more luxury boxes, bigger money, generate more revenue.
The difference is we don't got an owner. We don't got an owner, so that's
right.
That's
you're a club. You're a club. You're like Bayern. You're owned by a club, which is fine. It's a European model of ownership that works for a lot of big name clubs in Europe. You guys are in effect a club, which is great. But
Well, Green Bay's got a big construction contract coming up next year, man. We're building a bigger trophy room for all the Super Bowl trophies. Jordan,
you gotta win a few more of those before you build a new trophy room.
We got a warehouse full of them that we got to fucking build a thing to display them. We got no room.
I love. I mean, I love when Green Bay built the whole
Titletown.
and they built the whole fan Titletown experience thing, right? I think that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see it during the draft. I think that's pretty cool what they did. The Bears, you know, they're limited what they can do at Soldier Field, but if you ever go inside Soldier Field, they've done some really cool things on the walls of the stadium. Like they got this one big mural that's got every single name of every single person by year that's ever worn a Bears jersey.
I can't believe the city of Chicago is going to let you guys walk without trying to fucking put something in there, man.
Well, they're trying,
and now the state, the city's trying now with their new mayor, but now the state's like, we're not gonna fund any kind of stadium project. So okay, now we're gonna go back to the whole Gary Bears argument that happened in the 80s. You know, they were gonna move to Gary, Indiana. Indiana will give the money. You know, so Pritzker is kind of torpedoing the city's plan. You know, and honestly,
that'd be rough. Don't you think? Not only out of Chicago, but out of Illinois completely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gary's still a suburb.
They won't let it happen, bro. It's not.
No, they won't. And Gary's kind of considered a suburb of Chicago, but still, I mean, it's in the Chicago metropolitan area.
There's so much tradition and so much history that comes from that fucking stadium right there. I mean,
that stadium's gone though. Even
that's why I'm surprised they didn't do like the Packers did, or just put a renovation project in and redo Soldier
Well, they
Field,
did.
Man.
That's called the Spaceship. That's what they're in now. Like you know, I remember old Soldier Field. Then they renovated it and they changed it to what it is now. The new plans, if you saw it, they were actually gutting out the stadium and only leaving the pillars because that's what's protected under the national landmark is that facade with the pillars. And they were going to make this big park and then have this big stadium. Of course, all the parking's underground now. It's like okay, but honestly, I think the Bears are better off in Arlington Heights because they'll own the structure, they own the land, they're going to be the ones who make the money off it. The city, of course, is better off if they build it in the city. But if you think about it, if they move to Arlington, what's the city losing? Revenue from 8 football games a year, and that's it.
Yeah.
But they're going to gain revenue from all the extra tourism throughout the years. People come to the city for WrestleManias and you know, whatever concerts they have. You know, in the off season, they're going to be big draws. You're going to bring people in. So I think the city's kind of like BSing themselves a little bit. You know, but Green Bay, look at it. If the Milwaukee guys win, I don't mind. I don't mind if they build a dome in Milwaukee and the Packers play X amount of games there a year like they did back in the day, like 2 or 3 games a year.
I was going to say if that was what it had to be, it was either they were moving to Milwaukee permanently or playing a couple of games there. I'd go with a couple of games, but I still don't want to see them leave Green Bay at all.
But in order for Milwaukee to build a stadium, I think they'd have to require at least half the home games be played in Milwaukee to make it worth their money. Because you're not going to build like a brand new state-of-the-art stadium in Milwaukee for 2 games a year. They just go play at Miller Park.
Yeah, no. This is why we just need to keep it in Green Bay. There's too much tradition.
Where does Milwaukee even come up? I mean, it's got to be in somebody's fantasy fucking head. Oh, that's right. Ken's on. Yeah, never mind. Never mind.
No,
we land all the time.
Hey, but originally it makes sense.
You imagine if Green Bay went to Milwaukee and fucking Milwaukee?
I mean, well, I'll be honest. Like when I started to see the articles, I was kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, really? This is being talked about? It threw me for a loop. So I'm like, really? They're talking in Wisconsin about moving the Packers out of Green Bay into Milwaukee? Like, what the hell are they smoking? Like, was Pat really deep that week?
The only way I'll even partially get behind a move is if they move the Green Bay Packers to Syracuse, New York. Other than that, I ain't.
No. But we're not going to New York either. Sorry, Ken.
I'd like to only have to drive a half an hour to get to a game.
I mean, I always thought it was a mistake when they took away the Milwaukee games. To be honest with you, like that was part of their tradition too, and they took away the Milwaukee games. And not create that weird season ticket vibe, like, oh, you're a season ticket holder for all but 2.
Package.
Yeah, you don't get all 8 games. Your season ticket's only 6. Well, wait, we have 8 home games. No, because 2 belong to Milwaukee. Oh, well, okay. Well, then I'll just get a Milwaukee address and I'll buy both. But I mean, I always thought that was a mistake to take the Milwaukee games away because that was actually kind of cool for the fans of Milwaukee, which is the major population center in the state, had a ton of fans, and it kept them loyal Packer fans. I'm wondering how many people from Milwaukee have bled to Chicago fans because it's obviously close. It's closer to Chicago than it is Green Bay.
Let's
or
face
about
it,
equal distance.
Well,
yeah, that's why they did it. All the Illinois people going over to Wisconsin.
The Packers are actually in Green Bay. Their lease is until August of 33.
Yeah, but
and
those
they want to make it to 2043. And so they're kind of hackling a little bit on the price to extend it to 43. But that's all that's going on.
NFL teams will pay the money to break a lease if it's in their favor. If it behooves them to. And John, even if they do it, say increase the lease, that doesn't. The lease just says, okay, fine, it's your home stadium. It doesn't mean that it can't say, well, we're going to play 2 games a year in Milwaukee. You know what I mean?
See that happening.
I mean, actually, I wish they'd go back. I wish they'd at least start playing 1 game a year back in Milwaukee like they did back in the day. I get it. Back in the day when they moved, they got rid of it. The Packers sucked. They couldn't win. And Milwaukee became Soldier Field North. And then say, well, fuck this. We can't have this happen. We're just going to play them all in Green Bay because them fuckers aren't going to drive the extra 3 hours. Well, we kind of did, and we kind of did it. But I think it's hurt the Packers fan base in Wisconsin over the long term because now those fans that live in border towns and in the south suburbs of Milwaukee, there's been a lot more bleed over to Chicago.
Suck it up and drive the 2.5 hours. Shut up.
I was going to say, you got Packers fans out there that are driving 13 plus hours to get to a Packers.
I know, but I mean, but look at the Bears are put this way: the Bears benefited from no more games in Milwaukee.
One of the best traveling teams in the sport. The Packer fans, they don't care. They're going to go wherever.
Packer fans, Bear fans, Pittsburgh fans, they're another one.
They're all going to go. The teams know it. The fans are going to follow.
But they've lost.
Yeah, they might bitch and gripe a bit, but that's it's nothing but hot air. It's going to be all right.
It's nothing but a rant. Nothing but a rant.
Speaking of ranting, at this rate, we might just extend the rant for an extra hour today if you guys want.
I was going to say, I will not be here for the extra hour because I got to go do stuff.
Oh, what do you got to do? You don't work. It's a Sunday. What, you get a job and all of a sudden didn't tell us?
Oh, hell no.
It's called big titties.
Hey, Rob, what he forgot to tell us? He's a male escort on the weekends. He forgot to tell us. Yeah.
Hey, you got to supplement that disability somehow.
Ken rents out his bedroom. He rents out his bedroom.
He Airbnbs his bedroom on the weekends for all the people who want to go visit Syracuse.
They come in and it's just him and a leaf sitting on the bed.
Oh, there is no leaf.
Oh, Jesus.
I love it.
Well, look at he had the leaf. And he was feeling confident because he was getting 5-star reviews. Then he got rid of the leaf. And now he's like, wait a minute, why am I getting 2-star reviews? What's going on?
Hey, what can I say? Not everybody appreciates some good old guinea fur.
Not everybody appreciates a good brush of oil.
There you go.
They done bros up or no?
That's so funny.
Well, hey, speaking of all these stadiums, the Lions fans say they have the best stadium in the NFL now.
Well, I mean, you know why they say this? I mean, let's not argue.
They've even got the best blades of grass that have ever been known in the history.
Well, they got the worst. They got the worst field of everybody. That's true.
No, I think the Bears do. Our field's pretty bad. The city of Chicago, the Park District, man, they couldn't manage themselves out of a wet paper bag. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. It seems like some reason about Ford Field. Man, so many injuries. I mean, we lost 2 guys, Stokes and Gary, on that fucking field the same day. I was like, what? All because that fucking field, man.
Now, there is hope for Chicago, though, for Soldier Field this year because the Fire are playing there now because for whatever reason they moved out of Toyota, which was a stadium built just for them, but I guess they outgrew it. So now the MLS folks are putting pressure on the Park District in Chicago more than the NFL does about that playing surface in Chicago. So maybe now because we have a professional soccer team on it every week, I don't know. They're playing it now. It seems okay, but I wonder if that might help change the grounds crew, because it's funny that soccer people have to make the NFL people like really get serious about the playing surface. Like I swear, like if you talk to Roger Goodell and say, "Hey, what's your guys' policy on playing surface?" Like he'd probably come back like, "Dude, I don't care if it's concrete, as long as it's painted green, has lines from field markers, they can play it." I swear that's the NFL. Like, oh, your field is made of what there, John? Oh, concrete.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, is it painted green? Yes. Do you have white lines with hash marks? Yes. Oh, well, then you're fine.
Playing on baseball fields.
Yeah. Hey,
Remember when they used to do that?
I was going to say, I actually used to like watching the Raiders games in the beginning of the seasons because of them playing on the half a baseball field.
Yeah, but it's just not fair to the player because the playing field is so uneven, bro. So uneven.
Who else did that? I mean, it wasn't just the Raiders.
Yeah, no, there was a couple teams.
Yeah, there was a couple of them.
Yeah,
I always thought it was weird. You look down on the field, they don't really show any good aerial shots because it's half a baseball field. There's a diamond on half the field, bro.
Miami was like that with Robbie Joe, whatever they're calling is it Land Shark now or whatever they call it now? No, it's a Hard Rock. No, the Hard Rock's the new one. Well, whatever that one, it was Land Shark, Joe Robbie, whatever they called it. That was when the Marlins are playing there and the Dolphins, it was part baseball field. And then they said, "Oh, well, we can just put AstroTurf on the baseball field part and natural grass and the rest." Yeah, that didn't work out so well either. I mean, stadiums have come a long way, though. If you think about it over the last 30 years, man, look how much they've changed.
Yeah,
it's been ridiculous. So I'm not surprised. And eventually, look, guys, as much as you guys love Lambeau, eventually, I don't know if that'll be 10 years, 20 years,
don't
30
you
years.
finish that sentence, damn it.
clickbait.
Clickbait. No, eventually, look,
Clickbait.
it's not like baseball. It's not like baseball with these old stadiums like Fenway and Wrigley where they're immortalized in different ways. Football is a different animal when it comes to that. So is it 10, 20, 30 years from now? At some point, they may, move out of Lambeau and go to Lambeau 2. They'll name whatever the new place is Lambeau anyway. They'll change the name to Lambeau 2.
Bears got a better chance probably moving to Brazil than Packers moving.
If
They won't move out. They won't move out of Wisconsin.
I'll tell you what. If there's ever a plan for a Lambeau 2, it ought to be something almost the same as the Cowboys Stadium and AT&T Stadium.
Or SoFi. I think SoFi is superior stadium to AT&T. But yeah, I mean, it would be whatever state of the art for whenever they were to do that would be. That's what it would become. So, it might be 10, 20. It might not be in our lifetime.
I mean, and the reason why I'm bringing that stadium up is because Green Bay has a great deal of memories with that stadium itself, just as much as their own.
Yeah.
So you're like AW, you're like, if we're going to go indoors, we're just going to copy AT&T because that place feels like home anyways.
We win a lot there. Let's just say that.
It's easy to say it feels like home, especially since for two reasons. One, Green Bay won their previous Super Bowl in that stadium, and two, they own more playoff wins than the Cowboys in that stadium.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about the Cowboys?
And then we're undefeated in that stadium.
Every team in the North except the Lions has the way they own Dallas since they built the stadium. For the Bears and Romo has a better playoff record than Romo since they built that stadium, right? I mean, it's just funny how every team, like Dallas built this huge stadium that had no postseason success, barely any regular season success to think of overall. Dude,
Dan, I hate to interrupt you, man, but we're coming up on our last minute here, so we got to sign off. But everybody, stay tuned for Hell's Hall. That's coming up next.
Right now it might not be coming up next. I'm the only one that seems to be back, unless you guys want to hop over.
I'll hop over with you.
All right.
Who's gold lions?
We gotta sign off on here. Everybody, thank you for showing up. Fool's gold
lions.
Thanks again, and we will see you guys all next Sunday at 10 o'clock right here, right for the rant.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
And tomorrow morning on Ken.
Yep.
All right. That's
Have a good one, guys.